Total Drama Action, the second season of one of the most underrated cartoons, Total Drama, and is apparently worse than Revenge of the Island. This season follows 14 competitors from the first season battling for the same briefcase full of money, until there's only one left standing. This season is one of my favorites mainly because some characters from last season get way more screen time, and there's non-elimination episodes. It gives the characters time to be able to flesh out. But we're not reviewing the full season. We're reviewing one of the villains of the season that was downgraded as time went on, who had a good strategy with the amount of girls at his side and begging on their knees. Yep, that's right, we're talking about Justin, the supposed-to-be villain of Total Drama Action, whose character faded into irrelevance as the season progressed until his elimination. His main plan for this season consisted of getting Beth on his side and eventually asking her into an alliance. This plan was smart since Beth had connections to Lindsay, which could make a three-person alliance, leaving Owen alone on the team. He knew he was able to play Beth like a fiddle mainly because of his looks. It seemed as though in the first season and the special he knew his looks would and could be used to get what he wanted. He somehow knew his plan would work out, and honestly, it was a good strategy. There's even a couple of confessions of him talking about his main plan. He basically said that if he gets closer to Beth and continues to compliment her, she'll want to work with him when the time comes to ask her. A few episodes later, Gwen and Trent are talking about their relationship and how Trent throwing challenges for his team isn't a good idea. Also, his number 9 obsession is getting in the way of their relationship, which was obvious. I can't blame Gwen. And Gwen eventually comes to the conclusion that they're not meant to be and they're breaking up. That Justin manages to overhear surprisingly, which is kinda crazy. Justin confronts Gwen about what he had heard, and Gwen explains that isn't her fault he was throwing challenges, which it wasn't since Trent was doing it when Gwen never asked him to. Justin tells the rest of the team about this, and Gwen explains to the team that she broke up with Trent and that if you don't believe me, vote him out tonight since everything had gotten too messy between us. So it looks like Justin has managed to make Gwen go against her boyfriend to save herself. Also, since he has this information, he can use it to his advantage and tell Gwen's team if she doesn't purposely lose the challenge, which he does in the next episode. And Trent is eliminated as expected, blah blah blah. This challenge is a police film, and basically they have to eat disgusting foods and do an obstacle and stuff. Justin tells his team that Gwen owes them this challenge mainly because they think it was her fault, which it wasn't. And to be honest, it really wasn't her fault, it was Trent's. So basically, the opposing team decides who goes up to eat the disgusting food made out of trash. Killer Grips choose Gwen, Screaming Gaffers choose Lindsay. Gwen is kinda scared since she has to eat disgusting food made out of dandruffs from Owen's hair and balls of hair and stuff. Gwen has been so sad lately because of the things Trent did. I kinda feel bad for her since she has no reason to feel this way. Gwen manages to gulp down all of the food and doesn't throw up surprisingly. But Lindsay does, all over Gwen. Lindsay talks to Gwen about her not losing the challenge, and Heather notices this. Anyway, the next challenge is pulling a basket filled with your team members. Gwen is catching up and almost near the end, but since Lindsay is bad at pushing since Owen is in her basket, Gwen stops, and when Lindsay gets there she continues going. And so yeah, but since the gaffers have the golden shovel since Lindsay threw up, she decides to bonk Harold on the head, with which everyone notices, and Heather is suspicious, so she asks what's going on with her. They find Izzy hiding out in the tunnels and they follow her since she identifies as a mole rat now. But it doesn't work since the Grips are in first place still. The elimination intro for this season just shows how much of an ego Chris has. It's a vote between Heather and Gwen, and it's obvious who's gone here. Gwen is sent home for this episode. A few episodes later we have a new challenge that seems pretty smooth and simple. But turns out we get a surprise appearance from Courtney, who, after having her own little aftermath story arc, she's back in the competition as a competitor due to her lawyers, and she's put onto the Killer Grips team. But her whole team still ends up losing the challenge and are sent to elimination. But in a surprising turn of events, her whole team can't vote for her. And the whole team still ends up voting out Courtney anyway, so the only vote that wasn't for Courtney was Owen. And if I'm being honest, Justin doesn't really do anything after Courtney comes back. Courtney is seen in the eyes as the main villain of this season now that she's back, and Justin is put on the sidelines. Anyway, yeah, that's the video, I guess. See ya guys later.